Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH. Joining us today from Lux Blox is Mike Achera. But before we get to Mike, we're going to give out our favorite thing. We're going to give out our email address, which is dreamhousenation@gmail.com. That's dreamhousenation@gmail.com. That way our listeners can write in to win some fabulous prizes. Mike, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, James. Thanks for having me, man.
So what is Lux Blox?
Lux Blox are a learning tool. It's a plastic construction toy, a lot like Lego in the sense it's made out of the same plastic as Lego. But the difference is when you snap our blocks together, they bend and move, and they shape things the way nature does. So engineering is the same kind of engineering that Elon Musk uses in his rockets, or the same kind of engineering that trees use in their branches. It's all about corrugation. So the kids make these things look like fabrics that bend and squish, but the minute they fold them, they get this amazing structure. So they can build really big things that are beautiful and smart. And it's just giving kids access to, the adult engineering in a plaything.
Nice. So it sounds like the Lux Blox are more versatile and more STEM beneficial.
Well, the thing is this, we love Lego. Lego is brick art, and it's the best brick art there is, but we don't use brick art in our high performance vehicles, right? And Lux Blox just gives kids access to that high performance engineering that you'd expect in a car or a plane or a train or a rocket.
Nice.
So it's really super. It's STEM, and it's STEM at a hands-on level.
So how did it get started?
Well, we're odd, my wife and I. And I left college with some engineering background, and I left college as an art major, but I had studied aerospace engineering for 2 years, and I grew up in a construction family in Chicago. Italian Americans. My dad was a contractor. So I grew up on a job site. So I've always had this in my blood, this idea of building. I love building, right? So when I graduated college, I moved to Maine, and I lived in a hut in the woods. I told you I'm odd. And I just studied nature for 2 years in this forest. And I dissected animals and drew things and built structures. And I came out with a real understanding of how nature works that I was comfortable with. And then my wife and I started dating. We go up to Frank Lloyd Wright's place in Wisconsin called Taliesin. And there we just soaked in the beautiful architecture, and we found this book called Inventing Kindergarten. And did you know kindergarten was invented?
Did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. So this guy invented it back in the 1850s, this German guy named Froebel. And he was a real innovator, and he was a scientist, and he gave kids these crazy-looking things that they'd spin and play with that were based on his understanding of crystals at the time, because he was a mineralogist. And these Froebel kindergartens were not like the kindergartens you and I experienced as kids. These were special schools, and they produced some geniuses, a lot of geniuses, like Einstein and Le Corbusier and Frank Lloyd Wright and Buckminster Fuller. And all these guys said that it was those experiences in these special kindergartens that gave them their trajectory in life, that really first inspired them to be the architect or the scientist they became. So my wife and I are like, well, why don't we make a toy based on the ideas we know now from the 20th century that Froebel wouldn't have known in the 1850s, right? So we looked at fractal geometry and how nature and cells are put together, and that's how we came up with Lux Blox.
So in other words, it sounds like your background in art and engineering and education really paid off to create the Lux Blox.
Pretty much it's a convergence of all those things. We felt like the biggest need in the world right now is kids getting really solid science and engineering hands-on experiences, because it's their job to fix the world we messed up, right? So we felt like, okay, number one job is the kids. So we patented this connector we made, and so let's make a toy that could teach kids, so this next generation kids coming up could do some amazing stuff, and that's why we did it.
So what are the educational benefits of Lux Blox?
Well, when the kids play with them, right, they're building just by accident, just your play, just the probity of play. They're just putting things together. They're building balls and spiky balls and cell structures, and they're building the vernacular, like the language of nature. Okay, they don't know they're making like a virus structure or a cell structure or some kind of a truss. They don't know. They don't have those words, right? But they're naturally building it. They're not making a pile of stacked objects. They're making them very three-dimensional, and with Lux Blox, they move as four-dimensional objects that scientists at the university might recognize as something at the microscopic level. But the kids don't have to know that. All they know is their brain is being fired up with all this beautiful spatial information. Okay, so I forgot what the question was.
Oh, the educational benefits of Lux Blox.
Yeah, it makes kids smarter. I mean, it's giving kids just kind of the music of nature in a sense of just they're seeing and playing with the actual DNA of nature. They're building the shapes that nature uses to build itself. So that's why it's so good for them, and it makes kids smarter. And it's interesting. We've won a lot of awards from organizations that work with kids on the spectrum, like autistic kids, because kids on the spectrum seem to really gravitate towards Lux Blox. Their brains work a little bit differently than the that common egg, and they just gravitate towards Lux and just will play with it for many hours at a time. They just focus in on it because it is so stimulating.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to say, shoot, my son has that qualification, and yeah, he definitely is all about the building toys, the building things shoot, heck, he's happy if you give him a couple Kroger's bags, he will make figures out of them. And
isn't it awesome?
Yeah, it is just how much, how creative they love being. It amazes you.
It makes you wonder. We don't have a really written history about that, but it makes you really wonder in the Renaissance, the Middle Ages, how many of those kids were the ones behind like the great cathedrals, right? And how many of the Renaissance artists probably were on the spectrum, And they didn't have the words to describe kids back then. They were just maybe a bit odd, but you wonder how much of the great stuff that we've made as a species came from people who weren't willing to just conform to the normal and just follow their pursuits or follow their passion.
So where is the best place for the Dreamhouse Nation to buy Lux Blox?
Always from us, right? We're based in Galesburg, Illinois. We're 100% made in the USA. We ship right out of our factory here in Galesburg, which is near Peoria, Illinois, in central USA. And so if you bought from luxblox.com, you would get it right from us. You can also go to Amazon. We sell it on Amazon too. But the benefit of going to us is if you go to us and you at checkout, you put in Dreamhouse Nation as a discount, you get 30% off.
Oh, that is so cool. So how are you able to bend, fold, squish, and create living things with Lux Blox?
Oh, because the edges have hinges. It's a patented snapping hinge. Without, doors have hinges too, right? Mm-hmm. But the doors, the hinges on doors have pins in them that you have to put the pin in, right, to get the hinges to connect. We have a patented pinless hinge. So when they snap together, they act like a really strong magnet, but there's no magnet. So the edges will swivel. And because that swivel action, you'll get basically the same kind of joint that's in our fingers and our knees and our elbows, that kind of revolute joint. And because of that, you can make things that imitate like animals and just do that little squishy behavior. But they're still solid blocks like Lego, but the hinges give them that animated action that kids love.
Now, not that we're wanting to give out the secret recipe, but what are they made of?
Same plastic as Lego.
Oh, nice.
ABS plastic.
Huh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
What shapes do the Lux Blox come in?
We only have 7 parts in our whole inventory. So when you lose a Lux Blox piece, you're not going to cry like you will with Lego because it's a modular system. It's like a universal modular system. So when we first launched the product, we only had one shape. It was a square, but squares can make pretty much almost everything, believe it or not. And then we came out with a triangle shape, and then we had wheel because we got into Target. And Target said, well, if you're going to be in our store, we want you to have wheels too, because we want you to make cars. And I was like Goody Gumdrops because I really wanted a mold that made wheels too. So our wheels are multi-wheels, so they're also gears and pulleys. So you can make machines with Lux Blox too. So it has 2 wheels, 2 shapes, and 3 axles, and that's about it.
And then what is the best way for the Dreamhouse Nation to sign up for exclusive offers besides that really cool one that you had already said?
In terms of like how they would
subscribe.
Oh yeah, well they can either go on social media and subscribe to us there, or they can go to they can find us at our website and subscribe there.
Nice.
And our website's luxblox.com, LUXB like boy, LOX, luxblox.com.
So why are Lux Blox great for the classroom?
Well, they were designed for the classroom. So it gives teachers need all the help they can get, especially now because we're giving these teachers more assignments than they were trained for. So you get a math teacher, or heck, even a librarian. They're the new STEM coordinator, right? And they didn't even go to school for that. So Lux Blox gives those teachers the ability to have the kids jump right into any kind of STEM activity. Because the kids are like, you got them right away because they're loving playing with something, and Lux are really fun to play with. But then the teacher can say, okay, we're going to study plant structure now. We're going to build a cathedral, or we're going to build, cars to test, physical motion and velocity and, force. So it's kind of a go-to STEM product kit for teachers to launch into a lot of different activities.
Now tell us about some of the different sets that you offer.
Well, we have sets for teachers, like the big sets. We call them our institutional sets. They're called STEAM accelerators, and they max out. I think the highest price is like $450 for the biggest set. But those are like for teachers and for homeschools and things like that. But we also have smaller kits, and we have our stocking stuffers, like our little fidget flexors and mini cars that come in clear plastic tubes. In fact, almost all our stuff comes in clear plastic tubes because we really believe that people should know what they're getting. So almost everything sold with Lux Blox is transparent. So you can see what you're going to get. And, but I think that answers your question about, there's a whole range of products starting at $15 and going up to $450.
Nice. So, I mean, it sounds like you can pretty much make anything. What has been your favorite thing to make with Lux Blox?
Well, I am really curious about nature, like I was talking about. So I like working with people like that at university level and people in the industry, and work like with chemists and with biochemists and with biologists, because I'm interested in life sciences and what Lux could imitate at the biological level. To me, that's just fascinating. That's the direction that really our kids, this generation of young kids coming up now, they're going to be able to have the ability to visualize and actually manipulate proteins and molecules at that through either VR, right? Certain kinds of digital access. They'll be able to actually walk inside of a virus, like its architecture, and like walk around in it. And so their playground, this new generation of kids coming up, and their kids will be basically at the very, very small level. It's a whole new universe. They're wrong about Star Trek saying the boldly go or no man's gone before, because really the greatest adventure isn't outer space. It's really inner space. It's really at this very small level. And so that's the level where Lux really shines, because it's imitating these actions that happen mostly what we don't see at the very small level. So I'm really excited about that.
So in other words, Ant-Man is your favorite of the Avengers.
Yeah, the Ant-Man level. It's a really good way of putting it. The Ant-Man level. There's an infinity. We live between infinities as humans. We're like right in the middle between like the galactic expanse and the microscopic expanse. But they're both equally amazingly large expanses, ironically, and we're just tapping into the small one now.
So Mike, before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where is the best place for our listeners to learn more about Lux Blox? Well,
it depends on how old you are, right? I mean, if you're a younger person, you might want to go to Instagram or TikTok, and it's always at Lux Blox, LUXBLOX. If you're an adult, professional, I'm on LinkedIn. You can go to Lux Blox or me on LinkedIn. I post a lot, Micah Chera, MIKEACERRA at LinkedIn. You can just check me out, say hello. And Facebook is huge. It's always at Lux Blox.
That is awesome. Mike, it has been a pleasure having you on the show today, letting our listeners know all about Lux Blox.
Thanks, James. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man.
Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Dream Cloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today, or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH joining us from CLC Sports Wear is Jeff Davidson. Jeff, thank you for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
As many of our listeners will remember, we've had Jeff on our show before, and it was a great response by the listeners, so we wanted to have him back on. Tell us, for those new listeners, what is CLC Sportswear?
Well, CLC Sports Wear provides you with all your business and sports apparel needs, from t-shirts to sweatpants to hoodies to uniforms for sports, anything you think of, bags, carrying bags, jackets, all types of stuff.
That is awesome. So obviously most of your clients are predominantly sports, but the nice thing is you can also do stuff for businesses as well to build their brands.
Yes, that's correct.
Nice. So how did it get started? How did you start out CLC Sports Wear?
Basically, I started with, I've been involved in the, uniform business for a long time with some friends that did them for me from when I played on sports teams, or my son and my daughter played on the sports teams. So I got into it and I started saying, okay, what you guys can do some sales for a guy, start selling shirts for him and pushing people towards him. And it got to where I was getting a lot more response from people, with the people I know and friends I'm part of. And in particular was cornhole. And cornhole started growing. So they wanted more shirt demands and jersey demands. And well, I was pushing it through a friend, and he said, "You know what? You need to do this on your own because you got too many sales coming in for me to handle. I just can't keep up with you." So he introduced me to some manufacturers and some people that I need to talk to with shirts and suppliers and all types of things. And I just got about a year and a half. I got started on my own, doing it on my own, taking people I know, my current customers, and reaching out to new customers and growing it. Then I started reaching out to sports teams that I knew in around the area, and once my stuff started being worn, this year, like I said, last year we did a little bit in sales and uniform stuff. This year we've already, within the first month of it, I'm already double what I'd done last year in uniforms, and we're just getting started today for sports, for baseball and softball mainly. I grew into football this past season, and football teams really love my uniforms, and the services they're getting from me. I actually invented a football backpack, so the football players can put their equipment in it, carry them on their backs when they go and they're there from practice or to games, back and forth to games, instead of a handy back where you handle and pull. It goes on their back like a backpack. So it's not real big, but it's not too small for your gear, and stuff like that. So that's basically how I kind of grew where I'm at now. Like I said, this year is going to be a really good year for us. We got our first year under our belt, and learn some things about myself and the business and what I can do to improve my company. So
that is awesome. It sounds like you guys are living the American dream, building your brand, and helping a lot of great organizations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, particularly cornhole. I've come out with my own a couple of my own products in cornhole. I got a roller bag. They got a Zuka bag out there that's like $300. I have a roller bag that I sell for $65. You can't sit on it. The Zuka bag, you can sit on it, but mine you can't sit on. But at the same time, it has the same purpose. You don't have to carry the bags on your back. You can roll them around if you need to roll them around. Actually,
it's funny that you're so big into cornhole. We have somebody we'll have to talk about later on because I'm buddies with Major League Cornhole, and I was telling them about how great the jerseys that you make are. So, maybe someday you'll be the official manufacturer of Major League Cornhole jerseys.
Yeah, they actually reached out to me. So.
Oh wow, small world then.
So they're actually trying to do a franchise team out of the state of Indiana, which is where I'm based out of Indiana. A cornhole, and this is where cornhole is growing to, is a franchise team for professional pro teams. Like football and baseball, every state have their own team and travel around and play at venues where fans can come watch them play, cheer their favorite players on in the state of their own state and all that stuff. So it sounded pretty cool. I just got to look into it a little bit more. I haven't really decided what I want to do with that yet, but I wanted to let you know he did reach out to me.
Oh, that is awesome. Shoot, yeah. And then, of course, one of the great things for our listeners that want to work with you, you don't charge any mock-up fees. Is that correct?
No, all I ask from you is that I give you my pricing, and if you're serious about it, I'm serious about it. So I don't charge you any mock-up fees, and we get going right away. No setup fees. Another thing is I don't have a minimum. I don't have no minimum. So let's say you're a sports team, and this happens a lot, whether a player got injured or a player quit or he just decided to eat a lot and he grew his size bigger. I can get you that one set of uniforms for you at the same cost that you paid for the original sets. and get them to you within 2 to 3 weeks. So quickly turn around at the same time as you don't have to worry about, I got to order 15 uniforms to be able to get the one I need, or 15 shirts or to get the one I need. A lot of people in the cornhole industry, like I said, that these groups of cornhole, they order 40 or 50 at a time. And someone always forgets that, I really want one of those. After I see them for real and face to face and how good they look, I didn't really think they're going to look that good or whatever. I want one. So they'll come to me and say, hey, they want one jersey. Can we get one jersey? Yeah, I'll do that for you. I'll do that for everybody. And whether you're only ordering 2 for the first time ever, you're going to get treated the same way as the person that orders 40 jerseys. You're first in line. You'll get passed, and I go around you. You get your box come out to you quickly, just as quickly and efficient, and you still get, your jerseys get turned around at the same time. So I just believe in treating everybody equal.
That is awesome that you go above and beyond for your clients, because like you said, most places, they're all about the minimums, that you have to have so many before they'll even talk to you. But it sounds like you guys are really going above and beyond for your clients. And then, like you said, depending on the sport, sometimes something happens to a uniform or you add a teammate and you need it right away. And it sounds like with your great turnaround time of 2 to 3 weeks, that ain't bad at all. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to be something different than everybody else out there. At the same time, I understand how things go, and I just want to be more understanding. And like I said, it's a lot of extra work on me, in my company. But at the same time, in the long run, I think it benefits me and my customers at the same time.
So what is your creation process?
Basically, when a customer comes to me is I ask them to give me at least, if they have a logo, an idea, if they have an idea, the colors they're thinking of, because everybody knows what they really want at the same time. Give me those ideas, and I'll take it and I'll roll with it. Now, I also tell them, if you want to look on the internet and you see something that you liked before, or go to my Facebook page, and you can see on my Facebook page, I post all my mocks that I do. I'm not scared of anybody taking my mocks. I post all the creations I come up with me and my design teams, and I post them. And if you see something you like, jersey style wise, say, hey, I like the American flag style. Okay, well, we'll try to come up with some different type of American flag style for you. Nice. And we may change this, may change that, or that, this and that, or whatever. But basically, I have the customer tell me what they want first, and then I will go and do the best I can to create something that I come up with my design teams.
So what are one of your favorite jerseys that you've made?
I would say probably, we come up with some pretty cool American flag stuff. I got a really cool jersey that I did with my logo. It's kind of cool with a flag being pulled down and the CLC Sports Wear logos right there. I sell a lot of those shirts when I go to events. People really seem to like the American flag look, like I said, and everything else. So
I was really impressed with that. You have a fella, it looks like a Judas Priest album cover on your website that I thought was pretty cool. It was very intense looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I've done variety. I've done PST jerseys that were pretty cool. I've done some great causes. That's one thing I do is I do contribute back to causes that I believe in, and the people, my friends and the family that I'm part of. They'll tell you the first thing I do is, hey, we need something to donate for this family or this cause. And normally, like I said, I don't mind doing it, and like I said, because I want to give back too. And at the same time, it's showing people that what we really do, what I really do and stuff like that. So, like I said, a lot of cornhole tournaments get done out there for families and stuff. And I have a lot of great cornhole products. Like I told you, I had the bag. I have pouches. I have placement mats. I have launch pads. I do everything I do. I do a lot of things with it within the cornhole industry just itself. So.
Yeah, it seems like you have everything an organization could need, like you said, from the jerseys to the spirit wear. Everything in between. I thoroughly love wearing the jerseys that you made for us last year. It has the downtown Cincinnati skylight on it. Actually, it's funny because we're not funny, but it's unfortunate because it is so nice that I've seen other people try to emulate it. They don't do it as well as you do, but they've seen them try to. And then it's got our logo on it, and it's just, I mean, it's phenomenal. And we wear that thing with pride, and people are always asking about it. And of course, we love telling people that CLC Sports Wear are the people that made our jersey.
Yes, yeah, and then like I said, I'm not afraid of anybody trying. It happens, and there's things out there, that someone sees that made a little bit like this and that. But I try to make my stuff different. I don't really take one thing and say, okay, make it like this. I want to add this. I want to add that. There's all kinds of ideas you can do, and at the same time, if someone takes my design, I'm proud of it. Because that's what I mean, it's obviously that good for someone else to want to wear it that way. So
exactly, I was going to say you are one of the more creative ones out there. I've seen a lot of jersey companies, but you definitely are very innovative in how you do your jerseys. Now, of course, one of the other things you do great are the coaches. They love the polos that you make. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, polos, like I said, we got a new unique polo out there. It's a zip-up type polo. It's got a mesh finish inside, makes it a little bit more comfortable to wear with your teams. Coaches' team, a lot of coaches love it. You can do it in a long sleeve, you can do it in a short sleeve. It's basically, they call it a warm-up jacket. Maybe like a pullover at the same time. So they're supplemented. We can embroider, we can sublimate. We can heat stamp them, anything we need to do to, get them done, however you want them done like that. Same thing with, your jerseys for basketball and football. We can embroider those numbers on there if you want the embroidering number. Sometimes I just try to stay away because it gets hot that way when you're wearing something. There's a little bit mixture of your material more thicker, something you're wearing more thicker, but at the same time that's the options that we give everybody. But yeah, like I said, our pullover type warm-up jacket is one of those sellers that I'm starting to push more for the baseball and softball industry for coaches and even for basketball. A couple of basketball coaches wear them in short sleeves because they wear them instead of, as you can see on TV, some of these sports teams, coaches are starting to wear their little like windbreaker jackets instead of wearing, suits and ties anymore. So.
Well, Jeff, it's always a pleasure having you on our show, talking up CLC Sports Wear. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can our listeners find out more about you and order from you?
Well, like I said, I put some stuff on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok. Also, my Facebook is really the best way to get a hold of me and start talking to me on my Facebook Messenger. I like that because, like I said, one thing is we know who's talking, if you've seen what I've talked about and what I've seen you see what I'm talking about, that helps communication a lot. Hey, I see that you've seen it. Hey, how are things going? You can get on there. I also have a website called CLCSportswear.com. There's an order form on there, like that order type fill out thing you fill out, or any kind of questions you have, or anything you need to get a hold of me about. You can go through that. I will respond to you within an hour at least. I never let somebody hang out there and wait unless I really got something going on with my family at the same time. Everybody understands that. So, but like as I said, though, you can reach out to me on Facebook, TikTok, or my website.
Sounds great. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and DreamCloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH joining us today from Walk of Fame Sports is Eric Payne. But before we get to Eric, we're going to give out our email address, which is our listeners' favorite thing, dreamhousenation@gmail.com. That's dreamhousenation@gmail.com. And of course, our listeners know when we give out our email address, they write in to win prizes. Eric, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
So walk us through Walk of Sports.
Well, we're pretty much a one-stop shop for the fan, built by a fan. Pretty much the way we came together was I found myself in a different state than my sport team, and found myself longing to get things that would kind of coincide with my sports team, either decor, memorabilia, just regular items, and it was hard to find where I was. So to me, it kind of blinked in my head. I was like, what other sports fans, that we're all misplaced around the world. We've all moved around. So I wanted to be able to offer a one-stop shop for all sports fans. So we don't discriminate any teams. We try to keep a little bit of everything.
That is awesome. So if the people in Ohio are Tampa Bay Ray fans, shoot, they can find it at Walk of Fame Sports. If they're Seattle Supersonic fans, they can find it at Walk of Fame Sports. No matter where their fandom is originally from, they can find it at Walk of Fame Sports, it sounds like.
Exactly. That's what we try to create for the fans. So like that, they don't have to scatter around and try to collect these items. We try to put collections together on our website, so they have a couple of different options as well to help them with that.
Because I understand it was originally kind of a just a regular store, but going online, you've been able to help so many more people.
Exactly. We actually started off as a memorabilia company. We did strictly memorabilia with a few little sports accessories. We started off in an Orlando market, but then we noticed that we had a lot of travelers that were coming from other states, international travelers, and they would all love what we had to offer. And they would kind of start sending in special orders and things like that. So we were like, being in a mall, we're kind of one-dimensional. If you walk through my door, you're going to be able to see me. If not, you'll never know I'm here. So we want to be able to get in front of the masses to be able to help fans everywhere. So we went ahead and switched to go online. It's been about 10 years now.
With that, you're able to get a wider fan base and be able to help more people. That is phenomenal.
Yes, sir. Exactly. I mean, we even have customers as far as Australia, the UK, Mexico, California, Canada. So we're able to kind of merge that gap for everyone to be able to get what they're looking for.
Nice. So when did you become a sports fan?
Well, I was born in the Bronx, so we're kind of born and bred right from the diaper stage. So as a kid, of course, big time Yankees fan. So everybody in the family were fans. They were always watching the games, going to the games, and they made sure that no matter that the minute you can walk, you were there, so it's kind of something that they bred in. So it's kind of like a part of me.
That must be nice growing up with that much success. I mean, gosh, there have been time periods where it felt like the Yankees won the World Series every year.
Yeah, we had a nice little run there. We had a nice little run. So especially as a kid growing up, it was so phenomenal to see, because I grew up, my teen years were, in the 90s, when you had the core four, your Marianos, your Derek Jeters, your Andy Pettitts. So it was just an incredible time to grow up. So it just kind of built that fuel, and to the point where I'm just diehard fan for my team.
So what leagues do you have merchandise for?
The good thing about us is we try to cover everything. So we have MLB, we have NFL, we have NBA. We even do some soccer, a little MLS, as well as some of the international leagues. We even carry golfing pieces, some tennis pieces. Heck, I even have autographs for rugby. So we try to cover a little bit of everything. We may not have all the people you might be looking at, but we cover a little bit of everything. And if we can find it, we will try to get it for you.
That is awesome. It sounds like you have a great variety of options. Why is it important to go with a company that sells licensed and authentic sports merchandise?
Well, because when you're buying a piece of memorabilia or something licensed, you're not only buying the item, you're buying either a moment with the item, or you're buying a certain kind of feeling with the item. And so you want to make sure that's authentic, because a lot of diehard fans, they bleed their team colors, and something like that, you want to make sure that it's authentic, especially if it's memorabilia. Licensed product is a lot better as well because of the quality. So you want to make sure that you're not getting anything that might be a knockoff, or just from a company that's not actually licensed to make the product, because you may not get a good quality product and end up being disappointed when you were looking for something to kind of grab that feeling for you with your team.
With having such a wide variety of options and a wide variety of products, what is your most popular item?
Most popular item with us would probably have to be in our home department. I would probably say the blankets. Blankets are huge, everywhere from little fleece throws to the huge throw blankets we have. The small fleeces are nice for when you're sitting there on the couch or even at the stadium and watching a game. You can put it right over your lap, keep yourself warm while you watch your team. And then we've got the nice big plush ones that are about queen size. You can put them in your bed. You can wrap yourself up. So that seems to be probably, I would say that would probably be our number one product.
Nice. So where do you get your sports memorabilia at?
As far as memorabilia, we actually buy from reputable companies like Steiner Sports, Mountain Memories. We buy from Upper Deck. And when we actually were at the store level, we actually held about 2 or 3 different private signings within our store as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was going
Yes,
to
sir.
say that's always awesome when you can literally be there taking the picture of them, taking or signing it and all that. So I mean, just the authentication level. But like you said, those companies that you work with are top notch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good thing about us is I was actually able to get my feet wet with a company that did similar to what we're doing, but they were pretty one-dimensional where they kind of could just cater to their state, but it kind of gave me the exposure to all these other companies, and I was able to meet contacts that we became friends. And then later on, when I decided to move in, I knew I was able to reach out to them. I could get a legitimate product. That's something that my customer would love, treasure, and get their money's worth.
So how does memorabilia help fans capture a moment, a feeling, a time that was special to them?
Let's say, for example, like we've got a nice Bobby Thompson, Ralph Branca shot heard around the world. That's a big moment in time. And, we've got an autographed picture where you actually gives you your whole diamond and you see the at bat and things like that will capture a moment that is special for you with your team, something that they might have done. For me, it would be a Yankees World Series. I've got Derek Jeter autographed memorabilia from the World Series as well as Mariano Rivera. And when I look at that, I remember some of the important plays, some of the things that were just unforgettable from their series.
Yeah, especially that one where they threw it in and then Jeter throws it into home plate. Oh my gosh, that play is
Yeah,
phenomenal.
yes, sir.
So, what makes the Walk of Fame Sports a stop shop for
Well,
all
what we
our
do,
sports needs?
what we do as far as one-stop shop is we go everywhere from the smallest item, like let's say accessories, keychains, wallets, things like that, all the way up to autographed memorabilia. So definitely a place where you could come in, decorate a nice man cave. If you yourself are looking for some memorabilia, but also want some accessories to carry to the game, it's something you can do as well. So we try to culminate a little bit of everything in one place. And then, like I said, if we don't have it, we always welcome people to reach out to us, and we will try our best to find it for you.
And what new and exciting merchandise have you added to your lineup for
Well,
2023?
well, as far as new and exciting, we kind of we're still staying within the collectible because that's the main premise of our website is sports collectible memorabilia, things that are capture a moment, and we've actually decided to expand that. And this year we went into toys. We dabbled in a little bit of that last year, but this year we went into toys. We're doing Hot Wheels, which great collectible item. Depending on which ones you get, you could chase figures, try to find the right one. It's almost like dealing with McFarlane's, let's say, in sports. So it's a good product. And then we're also doing another product called Squishmallow, which is also a collectible item. And it's been taking the nation by storm. It's actually been one of the number one products in the U.S. since 2017. And what I think these products can do is they can actually bridge some generational gaps because we have some older collectors, some younger kids that are kind of dabbling. So especially with Hot Wheels and things like that, it's like something they could do together to kind of build the passion.
That is awesome. And then I understand that you go outside of sports with pop culture and entertainment options.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We do everything from movie to music, memorabilia. We've even got autographs from a couple of playwrights. So we try to dabble in a little bit of everything. When we first started, entertainment and sports were the two big premises, so we still do build on those.
Wow, you have thousands of options. What are a couple that you have not talked about yet?
Our glassware is big. There's a lot of time, especially for gifting, for personal. Glassware is a very big commodity, a good item, and it's usually a lot harder to find sports team related glass items. And if you do, you have to look for quality. Well, we carry everything from shot glasses to pint glasses to wine glasses to tumblers. So we try to cover that and they all come etched logos, officially licensed, and pretty much all set to either gift or use.
Well, I mean, that sounds phenomenal. But the only thing it looks like you don't do is specialty and custom orders. Do you do that?
As far as specialty orders, what we will do is if there's something you don't see on our site, we will make sure that we hunt it down for you. We do take special orders in that way because there might be things that our vendors offer that we may not have in, but it is still something that is attainable. As far as custom orders, not on this level. We did when we had the store, we did a lot of custom framing, but since we've gone online, we do more of the actual sales of the accessories, memorabilia, and things like that. But we're not opposed to requests.
That is awesome. So it sounds like you can do everything within reason. That's phenomenal. So before we let you go, where can our listeners find out more about Walk of Fame Sports?
Well, they could come take a look at www.wofsports.com. That's WOF as in Frank, sports.com. We're also at WOF Sports Shop on Instagram as well as Facebook.
That is awesome. Eric, it has been a pleasure having you on our show today.
I appreciate it, James. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Appliance Factory in Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Dream Cloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. James Lewis of TDH. Joining us from Union Wear is Mitch Kahn. Mitch, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. Happy to be with you.
So what is Union Wear?
So Union Wear is a union manufacturer in the United States of baseball caps, other kinds of hats, all kinds of sewn bags like backpacks, garment bags, tote bags, messenger bags, and also heat-sealed products like binders and portfolios. And everything that we manufacture is done in Newark, New Jersey, in one facility. We have about 160 machine operators here, and we service the U.S. government, the military, basically all labor unions in the country, manufacturers looking to get promotions, and the promotional products industry and the fashion industry.
So with it being a union company, are you run by the Teamsters?
Our union is represented by Workers United, which has an affiliation with the Service Employees International Union.
Oh, nice. So how did it get started?
We've been in business for about 30 and a half years. I started the company myself. There was a baseball hat factory in Jersey City, New Jersey that was going out of business. And I had the opportunity to buy their equipment at an auction sale. And I had done a little research on the baseball hat industry. And this was 1992. And for any of your listeners who are not old enough to remember that time, before 1992, you could not really buy baseball hats in a fashion store like the Gap or Macy's or a department store. It really was just a sporting good. And I had this idea to sell baseball hats to the fashion industry, which no one was doing at the time, but there were glimmers of some opportunities outside of the sporting goods industry. Namely, during one year, Spike Lee came out with the movie Malcolm X, and everyone was wearing hats with an X on it. Snoop Dogg had a video where he was wearing a hat with a pot leaf. That was really popular. There was the Batman movie that came out, and people were wearing hats with a bat on it. And for the first time, you were seeing baseball hats all over the country without sport logos on it, but without fashion logos on them also. So I started the company, and I hit up a lot of brands like Izod and Ralph Lauren and Gantz and Nordstrom's and Neiman Marcus, and started manufacturing hats for that industry, which lasted all for about 2 years, because 2 years later, everyone started having stuff made in China. And that's when we started focusing on the made in USA aspect of our products.
That is awesome that your products are made in the States. I mean, shoot, you're right. Unfortunately, there are a lot of products made overseas, but that is phenomenal that you're able to keep them in the States and keep them at a reasonable cost.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between our cost and the cost of things coming out of China and other third world countries has definitely shrunk considerably over the last 10 years through things like automation and lean manufacturing and re-engineering. We have opened up our market to people who are willing to pay just a little bit of a premium for made in USA goods.
Nice. Now, you listed the products that you make before, but could you repeat that?
Sure. So we manufacture all kinds of baseball hats, sun visors, bucket hats, boonie hats, and then dozens of types of bags, messenger bags, laptop bags, backpacks, tote bags, garment bags, anything that's sewn, and then heat sealed items such as portfolios and binders, checkbook covers, calendars, and things like that.
So what is the best way for the Dreamhouse Nation to contact you about having a hat or something made?
So we have a website, unionwear.com. That's WEAR, unionwear.com. And you can go to that website and fill a form out, and someone will contact you right away. We can also be reached at 973-497-0102 or emails at sales@unionwear.com.
So what is the process of making a customized order?
So someone will send in, well, we have on our website a ridiculous number of styles, almost 100,000 styles of baseball hats on our website. It's very easy to navigate, but we did it that way because it was very difficult to process custom orders where people were telling us they wanted this type of color on the top of the visor and this color on the back of the visor, this color on the strap. So we created an algorithm that put all of the iterations of our products online. So someone would shop for a hat. It's still really a custom order, but it's the way that the user interprets the shopping experience as if they're just buying a hat off of a shelf. Once they pick that hat out, they send us their logo with the hat that they picked out. We'll send them a virtual sample or a custom sample, depending on the order size, to make sure everything looks the way that they want it to. And then we manufacture the hats, and it takes anywhere from 3 to 4.5 weeks to get the orders out.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have an order in, and we are excited to see how the results are. I mean, gosh, with you having such experience and such tradition making hats, I can imagine these things are going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I will guarantee that they are.
Actually, that's a perfect transition, because that was the next thing I was going to ask you about, is the guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, we guarantee that our customers are satisfied with their order. We do everything we can to make sure that they approve different shades of colors and different shapes of hats and things, because baseball hats, they all look the same in an image. But when you get the hat, people like different types of baseball hats. Some people like it high crown, some people like it low crown, some people like it fitted, people like all these different kinds of straps. And in general, people like what they like and they don't like anything else. And that becomes an issue a lot of times when people are ordering 5,000 hats, because they think what they like is the same thing that everybody else likes. So it's up to us to educate people who are buying from us that there are a lot of different headwear styles out there. And for no extra cost, you can get your logo on a bunch of different styles of hats to make sure that everyone in your company or in your organization is happy with what you've ordered for them.
So what are typically the most popular color combinations?
I would like to say that it's something exotic, but almost 80% of everything we produce is either black or navy. That just seems to be what people want. We do a lot of colors that are popular sports combinations. So if you were to look at, say, the most popular NFL and MLB and NHL color combinations, that pretty much mimics what other organizations are copying, because, baseball hats are still viewed as something related to sports. Regardless of what sport it is, every sport has people on the sidelines wearing baseball caps.
So what are the crown shapes? Tell us a little bit about that.
So we have a number of crown shapes, like dozens of crown shapes, but our 5 most popular are what we call the professional style, which is very similar to a Major League Baseball cap. It's got kind of a high crown, but not too high. We have a higher profile than that, which is popular in some urban communities, a really high crown with a flat visor. It's also popular with skateboarders, surfers. And then there's a 5-panel hat, which has a flat front. And we call it 5-panel because there are 5 pieces that make up the crown of the hat, as opposed to most professional style baseball hats, which are 6 pieces. And that 5 panel is usually a little higher crown than most, but the nice thing is it's flat in the front, which makes it much easier to screen print if someone wanted to do a print instead of an embroidery. And then there's what people call the dad cap, which is a softer, unstructured hat, used a lot in golfing, used a lot in fashion, and it's generally lower crown. It's also 6 panels.
Definitely. And then I understand the fabric types play a big impact as well.
Yep. We've seen a huge surge in mesh back hats in the last 3 years. Doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Hats with different types of fabrics on the front, usually a cotton twill or a brushed cotton with just plastic mesh on the back for breathability is probably the most popular fabric combination that we have right now. On the unstructured hats, it's usually a softer fabric like a brushed cotton or a performance fabric like something that a runner would use that would be moisture wicking. And then the professional style hats, we don't see companies generally ordering wool serge, which is the type of fabric that's used in professional baseball caps, mainly because the fabric is very expensive and a lot of corporations and organizations order hats to give away. The wool surge will make more sense when someone's spending $35 or $40 at a stadium to buy a single hat. So we will generally do the wool surge type hats in a cotton twill or a brushed denim or a bull denim that kind of looks like a wool surge there. And then there's all sorts of specialty fabrics. We make hats out of corduroy. We make hats out of supplex and nylon and canvas. And all of these options are available on our website.
Nice. And then, of course, you have the knit hats, which are popular usually in the wintertime, but I see people wearing them year-round nowadays.
Yeah, they are a year-round item. We generally see most of our orders for those in the fall. And a big reason for that is we tend to not do most of those hats are sold at retail. We don't do a big retail business. Ours is really more government and promotional. And the vast majority of people, I think, are still wearing knit hats in the winter time. And we want to get their orders in by the end of October to make sure that we have enough yarn supplied to us.
Nice. And then, of course, the different bags that you make, I'm sure those also make great promotional items.
Yep. Bags are a great promotional item now. A lot of states are beginning to ban plastic bags. So we've seen an incredible surge in demand for, I guess they call them reusable bags that are not disposable. And if someone's going to invest in doing that, they're also going to invest in putting their company logo on the side of it. So that's really affected the tote bag business. With all the changing technology, there's always opportunities for companies to buy more other types of messenger bags, laptop bags, electronics bags, gear bags, and things like that. We've
talked a lot about hats today, but what type of hat do you like to wear? What's your favorite kind, just for fun?
I like what we call a stretch fit hat. It's elastic around the inside, and it looks like a fitted hat, but it fits a multiple sizes, and it just really hugs my head in a way. I'm not afraid it's going to fall off. It looks good. It's low profile, and you have a big area in the back to put a logo on. There's a fabric that's called spacer mesh, which is not like the harder cap plastic mesh. It's more like it's like a foamy mesh. It still has the breathability in the back. And that a hat made with spacer mesh in the back is probably my favorite hat personally.
So, Mitch, before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where's the best place to find out more about Union Wear?
It's probably on LinkedIn, just to look up Union Wear on LinkedIn. We update that every single day. We also update, and our Facebook page is Union Wear USA. That's updated every day as well.
Excellent. It has been a pleasure having you on the show today.
All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy Hat Day.
Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom has products in stock and available to take home today. With 5 stores and almost 40 years in business, they are Ohio's appliance experts, and they help you to get the right product at the right price with a huge inventory. You can save 30 to 60% every day on everything from Bosch and Viking to LG, GE, and KitchenAid at unbeatable savings and in stock. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory has everything from Tempur-Pedic and Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and DreamCloud mattresses in stock. Stop by any one of Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's 5 Ohio locations today or visit online at appliancefactory.com.
Thank you for tuning in to this Dream House, brought to you by Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom. We look forward to seeing you again next week.